But these cells and the cells transformed with sample D also seem to have picked up the new phenotype, the ability to survive in the presence of ampicillin. Then I turned out the lights so you could see that these were actually glowing. It's kind of rough to see. Maybe it's easier to see now that the plates have cooled down. They didn't glow at all when they first came out of the incubator. And you know, I suppose we could turn the lights out maybe when it's time to go or something if you wanted to see what they look like. But that was kind of photographic evidence of everything that we've got. So that's posted as a PDF. You can print it out, change it up, do whatever you'd like, and then label this in some fashion so that, like it was in a formal publication, so that you can, on the second page, talk about the image that is displayed. The alternative one was this one. Again, same idea. I photographed this plate on white paper so you could see the blue pigmentation, kinda. Then going sort of clockwise from there, this was cells transformed with sample B. This is cells transformed with sample C. This is cells transformed with sample D. Then I turned out the lights and photographed it again. So this little inset here shows no glow on these guys. The little inset here shows these were glowing in the dark, and I was able to get a little picture of that. This is the no cells at all on this plate. So as we would expect for E. coli that was not given any AMP resistance gene, again showing that the plates really did have sufficient ampicillin in them to kill. I didn't bring all the plates down, unfortunately, and not due to any fault of you guys. The entire 8 a.m. lab, no cells anywhere. So I think the cells just weren't viable. And I'm not even sure it was the making them competent or that we weren't on the ice enough. It was nobody had any cells. So I suspect those cells were dead when they arrived on campus. And then in the evening laboratory, 3 of the groups got cells, 3 of the groups didn't. So it seemed like about half of my E. coli cells were no good. And I don't think it was our fault. The 11 o'clock group, I think by just luck of the draw, got some nice viable cells, and you can certainly take a look at those actual plates. So you've got 2 options for photography. So that'll at least be something for you to work with. You certainly don't have to leave it the way it's displayed here. You can cut them out, move them around. You might even want to put the control first. I don't know, at this point, maybe it's cumbersome to describe A, B, C, D. Maybe you want to name names, since now we know the names. That might be simpler. Whatever you think is easy and clearly describable to your reader. So remember again, I'm grading it. I mean, some people took like the hard copy I gave them and like wrote their name on it and handed it in and wanted some points. So I'm not even printing them out this time. You've at least got to print out your own damn pictures if you want points. 1.5 points for the things that you labeled this diagram, or one like it, one that you label it up. 1.5 points for the quality of your sentence that describes what it is we're looking at. It should be a sentence. It should be grammatical, or you lose some points. 3 points for a few sentences, probably, that will describe how this image was generated. So an abbreviation of the protocol that we did. Times, temperatures, that sort of stuff is what's important. And then 4 points for the analysis. What does this mean? Beyond just what am I seeing, but what does it mean? So some interpretation, maybe some criticism of how to do it better, that sort of stuff. Like you were reading it in a book, that's what the formal figure, the formal implies you've worked on this, it's good enough to publish in the newspaper as a formal figure. Some of the ones that I'm reading ain't so formal. It's like you wrote some words down and maybe didn't listen to what those words sounded like. I think writing tends to be not visual, it tends to be auditory. It should sound like one of those professionals on a book tape talking to you in full sentences. Please do read what you write. Don't just say that looks like a bunch of ink. I came up with a title. What did I say? E. coli cells. I think every biology title has to name the species, if there is a species that is the subject. E. coli cells were transformed with 3 different plasmids. I guess I said E. coli cells that were transformed. E. coli cells transformed with 3 different plasmids display the expected phenotypes. So that's my analysis is going to say I got what I expected. The one I thought would glow glows. The one I thought that would be white was white. The one I thought that would be blue is blue. I think I'm just verifying my expectations going in. Maybe the one thing we do learn, we didn't know if there was a LAC-Z gene on plasmid D. There certainly does not appear to be. Whether there was before they shoved Lux into it, I guess we'd have to sequence the DNA to find out. I suppose you could even suggest that to see if LAC-Z is there. Sequence the damn thing. I think to come up with a title, what I generally do is I make a list of words. Here's my list. Phenotypes, E. coli, transformation, XGAL, ampicillin, PUC18, PUC18 lambda, water only, PLux. Those seem to be the important ideas. I couldn't get them all in the title, but I got some of them in the title. That seemed to describe what I was looking at. The other ones, I didn't name the plasmids in the title. It seemed too lengthy. I do want to name them down below. XGAL, ampicillin, they're clearly important to the interpretation of this picture. I didn't stick it in the title. You might, but I'm certainly saving that up for the legend so that that information comes up. Maybe in the protocol, I want to tell my reader what's in these plates. Maybe when I describe that the control gave me what I think. So again, I'm grading this by a rubric, so you know what I'm looking for. The title, protocol, analysis, and some kind of helpful marking on whatever iteration of a photograph that you do decide to display. Okay, that'll be due Tuesday. A bunch of you got your work done early last week, gave me the time to see it and think about it and respond, and you got time to make changes, and all of that happened before the due date. So, and I don't think those people worked any harder or any longer. They just got a better result because they did what they did a little bit sooner, and I think try to take advantage of that if you possibly can. It's not more effort, it's not more time, rather the opposite. Okay, last time.